What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations. And I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers and male caregivers that is sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And since 2020, our team that works with Dove Men Plus Care. And I have to shout out Edelman, who is the PR company for Dove Men Plus Care. We've reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. Maybe I said that twice. If I did, it's my head, not my heart. Hey, I'm human. I make mistakes. And also, as always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Broadcasting live on February 15th in Toronto. We're getting another snowstorm. We had one overnight this week on Wednesday, got up Thursday morning, about 6 to 7 inches of snow. Got up that morning and said, putting on my clothes, got to go out and shovel snow, and was so blessed. My next door neighbor has a gas-powered snowblower, and he was so nice that he took care of like 2/3 of my driveway. So it's good to have good neighbors. So treat them right. Treat them like they always want to be treated. Who sung that song? Treat them like they all. I got to find out who sung that. Aisha's gonna find it for me. He's gonna find it. You'll get on it just a moment, Aisha. So I got to figure out who sung that song. But that's why we have to bring the ladies up, because I'm just the appetizer. And here they are, the main course.
It was Father MC.
Father MC, thank you. I was good. There we go. How we doing?
Father MC and a group called Pure Blend that used to do background vocals for a lot of hip hop artists in the late 80s, early 90s that had a album themselves, but it didn't do well.
Okay.
But people always thought that Pure Blend was Aaron Hall from Guy, but it wasn't.
And you didn't even have to we got our own Google. We got 2 Googleites. Well, who wants to use Google? Well, that's a whole other conversation after what I heard lately about Google. What's been going on, ladies? How we doing?
We're back on this roller coaster ride. It's when I tell you that I seriously limit myself, I did not really go and do a lot of research today. I've been chilling, learning great new skills, kicking back. Before we went on, I went on just to refresh myself of everything. And then I found myself getting so upset again that this is why I'm backing away from it, because this is what they want to do. This is the plan. They want to keep us in anger. And so I just refuse to stay in anger. I just try to find a way where I can make a change.
Okay, no problem. I have actually to take our minds off of the sense of the nonsense that's going on for the next little bit. What I already asked this yesterday, so there's Fitness IQ Cam. Don't you give the answer. So I'm going to ask the 2 ladies plus whoever else is live in the room. What platform celebrated its 20th anniversary yesterday?
What platform?
What digital platform?
Was it Facebook?
No, close.
Twitter?
YouTube. You are correct.
YouTube. Why did I think YouTube was older than that?
Me too. And I thought YouTube might have been maybe 25 years. I thought, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, tell its 20th year yesterday on Valentine's Day. And yes, YouTube. Yes, and see the family. A lot of the family. Okay, hold on. Hold on. They're just flying in here. So let me get these comments in already, because I see a whole bunch in here. So let me just go. So as always, biggest fan of what we do. Her name is Jen Myers. How you doing? Good to
Yes.
see you. Dr. Tachi, the driving force behind Indie Suit Media. Hello, all. You know what's going to happen, Dr. Tachi? Someone's going to ask you to come into this conversation, so get ready. Fitness IQ Camp says, hola, hola. And Dr. Tachi says, Fitness IQ Cam, hey there. They were both part of the conversation yesterday. And Fitness IQ Cam says, hey, Dr. Tachi. She also says, LOL, I was about to say, what did I do? Nothing. I didn't want you to cheat because from yesterday. Dr. Tachi got the answer right, said YouTube. Also, she goes, Fitness IQ Cam goes, but. What do you mean, but? What's that but all about? Okay. And Fitness IQ Cam says, LOL, Dr. Tachi. You were there too. Yes, she goes. And Dr. Tachi says she has been on YouTube for 19 years.
Wow. I want to see how long ago I did one. That's interesting.
But see, I don't make YouTube videos, but I've been looking at YouTube videos for about this long. It just didn't. You know what?
It didn't register.
I'm sorry, but the last 25 years have been running into each other for me.
There you go.
There are times where I'm like, oh,
it's a blur. It's like Twilight Zone.
Yeah,
you know,
so little
and you know what's so funny is that when you're a parent and you like when you're a parent during that time, especially when you have like small kids too, in this 25-year time period, a lot of stuff when your kids are little kind of run together because you don't realize how busy you are until they're grown.
There you go. So a little backstory on YouTube. It was created and founded on February 14th. Well, founded on February 14th, 2005 by Steve Chen, Chad Hurley, and Jawed, J-A-W-E-D, Jawed Karim, all former employees of the online payment system PayPal. The three friends opened up the first
PayPal,
YouTube
the guy that the owner of PayPal now who helped Trump's campaign, which is why I don't use PayPal.
Okay. The three friends, well, he sold. He has no longer anything to do with it. The three friends opened up the first YouTube headquarters in an office above a pizza restaurant in San Mateo, California. The first video was published on April 23rd, 2005. It was a 19-second clip called Me at the Zoo, published by co-founder Jawed Karim. The video shows Jawed, I don't know how to get this right. I'm going to say it right.
It's Jared.
J-W-E-D. I don't know, but we'll go with it. Standing in front of some elephants at the San Diego Zoo, and has been viewed more than 300 million times. So here's the next pop quiz. Dr. Tachi and Fitness IQ Cam, don't answer it. What is the most viewed video on YouTube?
Oh, heck if I know.
Me either.
So strange. I have no idea.
Music videos dominate the list of most viewed videos on YouTube with Baby Shark Dance.
Oh God, no! I hate that.
Topping the list with more than 15 billion views. Other popular videos include Despacito by Luis Fonsi with more than 8 billion views, Shape of You by Ed Sheeran with more than 6 billion views, and Roar by Katy Perry with more than 4 billion views. So,
I think the thing though that we should remember about that is that it stands to reason that the older the video is, if it's popular, the more views it's going to have.
Okay, and then also,
I mean, isn't Katy Perry's song "Roar" almost as old as YouTube?
There you go. So, who has the most subscribers on YouTube? American YouTuber Mr. Beast.
I was gonna say that.
Yep.
Everybody like him.
Who is he and what does he do?
I've never really delved. I know the name. His real name, his
weird stuff, and he claims he gives back to charity a lot. A lot of people like him. He just gets on and tries new things all the time, and he gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Like he'll fill a pool of plastic balls, and you got to jump in there and do weird stuff, and he'll donate to charity. Like it's really weird.
All right, actually, our producer today had the right answer with Baby Shark. And Devika, our producer's in good here. She goes, he's a self-proclaimed philanthropist, but he got his fame by doing expensive challenges and pranks that seem large. Bless you. Are you allergic you're allergic to baby sharks?
Yeah.
I mean, I just know that this guy always talk there. Every time I like sometimes I'll see Mr. Beast Smash Burger. I'm like, okay, but who's Mr. Beast and what does he do? I don't.
Okay, so someone who's in the background, just See You Again by Wiz Khalifa featuring Charlie Puth with over 5.6 billion views. But Mr. Beast has the most subscribed channel on YouTube with more than 360 million subscribers. He's also reported the highest paid creator on the site, with the Forbes Rich List estimating that he earned more than $85 million.
Yeah, he's getting his own show now
in 2024.
I mean, but I mean, aside from the crazy things, like literally, what does he do?
I still have no idea.
That's it. He doesn't do anything else. That's it.
Would you call him?
He started like when he was 13.
No, I'm just saying that the threshold for fame and talent these days is. I think that's one of the things that I think that's one of the.
Do we need to go any further after that statement? I
think that's one of the sad things that we lose with social media is talent.
Well, I'm not even going to go any. I don't think I need to add to that one. Lala, do you want to add to that? By the way, Lala, what does your sweatshirt say? I am fascinated. It's what?
It's Fendi.
It's Fenty. It says it's a jumpsuit. I got one like it.
Okay. Do you expect me to know Fenty?
I got the same one.
Onesies.
Oh,
yeah, I got the same one actually, and I've never worn it. It's just because I have so many. So
I love them. I'm gonna get some more. But here's what I did. My first YouTube video, September 17th, 2012.
I wondered how long I could go without having to hear onesies again, and it happened.
It's gonna happen every week.
I mean, y'all know we do. Look, y'all know me and Lala do this show in our pajamas, right?
That's right. That's right.
OMG. You're not getting me there. You're not. I see. Here's the bigger challenge. I've been asked to do a cold plunge, so I don't know which is more of a challenge: a cold plunge or wearing a onesie. Look at Lala.
I would never do a cold plunge.
No.
Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna do it?
Maybe.
Oh, I don't know. Your face says you're gonna. Ah!
Okay. All right. So before I jump into another pool, let's do some more comments just before we go to break. Fitness IQ Cam says, I actually was trying to use YouTube when I was in South Korea, but it wasn't committed. I wasn't committed like I am now. So she's saying, so like in 2013. And she goes, that one I went into my meeting. I have no idea what you're saying. She goes, LOL. And Dr. Taji says, I knew it was Baby Shark. Well, don't ever. So we learned today, do not mention Baby Shark in Lala's presence.
Oh, wow. The nightmares.
I don't think I've ever seen that video.
Oh, don't.
Or if I did, it wasn't like.
Don't.
But you know what's so funny is that video, like that's what I'm saying. Like 2005, I had a 3-year-old, so I was like, not. Everybody else was like on MySpace and stuff, and I'm like, y'all, I can barely keep up. I had a 3-year-old in a job in state government and politics. I didn't have time for this stuff.
You had I'll say that you had a government job. All right, let's go to break.
I had a government job in South Carolina that now is creating its own DOGE.
Oh gosh, and I saw your buddy on TV. Oh, did you watch Dateline last night?
No.
Craig Melvin.
Oh, the Susan Smith. That's right. They did a thing on Susan Smith because she's trying to get I'm gonna have to go watch it.
Really enjoyed that.
I did record it. I did record it because she's trying to get parole.
Yes, and she has been denied, but I think she's up every 2 years.
Well, yeah, because she only got a 30-year sentence.
Yes. So just realize we're all crime drama fans
Well,
on
30
the
years for
screen
her,
here, right?
30 years she had to serve before parole.
We love our true crime up here, big time
Oh,
on
yeah.
this
I'm
screen.
living a true crime right now. So
There you go. There you go. All right. Let's go to break because our producer says we're way past
Well,
time.
when you
All
go
right.
after you go to break, I'm gonna have to tell you guys what happened to me Thursday. LaLa knows.
No. Okay. No. Let's do it before break.
So Thursday I went to the doctor. Left the doctor's office, about to get in the elevator. There was me, and there were 3 white men who were standing to my left, waiting to get in the elevator. Elevator opens. A white couple's on the elevator. Now, mind you, I'm the only black person about to get on this elevator. So, 2 white men step aside, let me go first. Then they come on behind me. So we're standing in the elevator. I'm in the middle toward the back. That couple's to my left. The woman right behind me. And then the 2 white men, one is standing like kind of in front of me and one is standing to my side. So it stops the next floor and this white woman wants to get on. And one of the guys that got on, he said, there's not a lot of space, but we can move. I had already moved when the door opened. These other 2 men were about to move over. Now, mind you, I'm not even in this woman's way. The white woman behind me and to my right puts her hands, one hand on each shoulder, and proceeds to move me.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was like, don't touch me. You don't know me.
Oh, wow. Woman, don't touch me. Now here's the first of all, we know why she felt like it was like she could put her hands on me. We all know that. Second of all, if the people getting on had been black or brown, he wouldn't have done that. But the part for me was that she was very lucky because somebody else where I'm from in this city would have backhanded her for putting her hands on. I'm like, the other part for me too that was triggering is that you guys know I'm a survivor of childhood sexual abuse and sexual assault as an adult. Strangers touching me is triggering. It produces a lot of anxiety. And I turned around and told her that. I just blurted it out in the elevator because I'm like, you don't. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, you just don't touch people you don't know. Yeah. Wow.
Because I was so enraged.
She didn't hear you.
I was so enraged. I was telling LaLa and Jill, I'm so mad because I was sitting in my car afterwards because I couldn't just drive and leave. I was so heated, so frustrated. I could just feel like it's the combination of the racism and all the knowing why she touched me, but also that feeling of I do not like to be touched by people I don't know. As it is, I struggle with intimate touch with people that I do know. So what makes you think a stranger? I mean, she's very lucky that I didn't just react because my reaction would have been physical out of protection of my body.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm okay. She's very lucky she walked away on her feet.
La da ba ba bum ba
Okay.
bum. Okay.
Because the other part of it too, and here's the only reason I did what I did and I left and I was like, I've got things to do, go home. The little angel on my shoulder said, Aisha, you don't feel like going to jail today.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Dr. Taji said the audacity. No,
Yes.
baby.
The caucasity. Yes.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Non-melanated woman.
I had to sit in my car for 30 minutes.
Put hands on you and
now
really?
And the funny thing is that all the men looked at her like because the thing is I wasn't even in the way. I was literally, when I say I was standing to her like, you know how someone's standing in front of you but almost like they're next to you?
Yeah.
That's where I was. the other two men were the ones who were in the way of the door for the woman to get in. She
Okay. Dr. Touch says, well, I'm trying to be nice. She said with the word audacity. Okay, I'll leave it at that. All
yeah.
right.
So that's what
Okay.
happened. Look, that's what happened to me. As if I need. Look, I'm like, oh, y'all getting a little too bold with this Trump stuff right now. Okay, be very careful.
Mover.
You're gonna mess around and get bold with the wrong person.
Non-melanated woman does that. Wow.
But you know, it bothered me, and it's viscerally angry because, like most Black people, that's not the first time a white person has touched you. I've had people feel like they could touch my face, like they could touch my hair. Oh my God! I do not like having people's hands in.
Yeah.
That to me is like, you're too close to my brain and my scalp. Get away from me. I don't like. Don't. I was in South Carolina in a Kroger or TJ Maxx once with my daughter, and this woman and my daughter, we blow it out, but she's got very curly hair, and I used to put in these two ponytails, puffy curls, right? Little puffy spiral curls, and this white woman, my daughter's in the car, and this white woman, both hands, and I said, "Do not touch my child." She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. She's just so cute. I just want to touch her hair." Do not touch my kid, or I will call that cop. Okay, that's the other thing. We're not puppies. We're people. I've seen people and I did. One woman, I didn't catch her, but this is like my daughter. I'm chasing her around the store. This one white woman pet her on the head. It's like, what? And this is also in South Carolina. Yes.
I'm not surprised at all.
You know what? Just for our white listeners, our friends who watch, I'm sure that none of you would touch, but people just don't touch us. Unless we know you.
My question would be, how would they handle us touching their hair?
They lose their mind.
Karen will call police. And we'd be dead. That's how that ends. Because Karen can't just say, "Oh, this person touched me. I was uncomfortable. I was almost raped."
Yeah. I've seen a lot of those videos lately.
Mm-hmm. This black man bumped into me. I know he was trying to rape me.
Yeah.
Girl,
right.
He's swinging his briefcase. It just hit your coat.
Okay. We are going to go to break, and that's why I wanted to do it before we went to break, so we can. I don't know if this is going to be any better after break with all that, but when one of the family her safety is threatened, we got to make sure we address that in real time. It's not to be waited on. Before we go to break, Jen Meyer says audacity is at an all-time high. People think they can do whatever. The blank privilege. You have to watch the screen to say it. All right. We're going to go to break, and in 30 seconds, if you thought this was a warm-up, oh boy, we'll see you in 30 seconds. Black Canada Talking, where Black Canadians give their takes, POVs, and insights on local, provincial, national, international conversations. Cesar Nadima Musa. What is up, Cesar?
Hi, Dr. Vibe. Thanks for having me. And it jeopardizes your ability to sustain yourself financially.
40 programs have been suspended due to the drop in revenue.
We see this happening over and over again throughout history.
What does that tell you about America? All right, we're back on Primetime Saturday with Aisha and LaLa, broadcasting live Saturday, February 15th. I'll save that to the end. We got to get into our conversation stuff today. All right. Make sure you check out Girlfriends Chat with Aisha LaLa.
Oh, it was hot this week.
Oh, well, okay. That enough said. Also,
it'll go up tomorrow because I wanted to clean up just a little bit. I said I wasn't going to clean up, but I just wanted to clean up just a little bit.
Well, you see, family, if you're watching this live or replay, sometimes what you need to do is just turn off your audio and just look at Lala's face.
No, no, the tail end of our conversation was very private, so I just wanted to make sure that that we're just clear.
Okay.
I like to listen through first to make sure.
Yes,
that,
good
yeah.
idea. Primetime Saturday show store. There is a link. Oh, by the way, do tell Ms. Jill that I say hello. And I guess you saw the direct message I gave you yesterday? What song was either recorded or released a number of years ago on
which would
yesterday?
also include the extended version that Jill is actually on.
Of Kiss. There you go.
That's actually my favorite. That's actually my favorite version of the song. I prefer the extended version.
Very nice. It made me go on YouTube and look at the extended version of Bat Dance.
I can't stand that album. I can't stand that album.
You know what? It's so funny that you would say that, Aisha, because we listened to that this week, and I was like, we really don't listen to this much at all. But for some reason, I was really into Vicky Waiting this week.
That's the only Prince album I never bought.
No, that one does miss.
I don't like it.
There's a very interesting clip though on YouTube of him doing the bass lines of it. It's about
I've seen that.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
I just don't like the album. I never did. I didn't like it when the movie came out. And Bat Dance was a #1 song. Everybody was loving it. I'm just like,
okay. Join Primetime with Aisha and LaLa, our Discord group, where we continue this madness in a good way. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. And also subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Slow down, producer. Slow down. And then to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms I'm on, please email me dr.vibe@thedrvibeshow.com. All right. First conversation piece today. Oh boy, DOGE. Go for it, ladies.
Go ahead, Aisha.
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, South Carolina is trying to recreate this DOGE committee, and if you're unfamiliar with it, it's DOGE is actually the name that Elon Musk chose for his like cryptocurrency, Bitcoin or whatever, or EFTs or whatever. And so they took that and tried to create an agency in our government with that acronym. So they're calling it the Department of Government Efficiency. Now, I start with telling you the South Carolina one because I found this out yesterday, and it's funny because Republicans have been in charge of South Carolina government for more than 50 years. So I don't know whose government efficiency they're looking at, but I have a feeling that they're trying to get rid of my old job and the Commission for Minority Affairs, which they've been trying to get rid of when I was there, and talking about 20 years ago. So I'm thinking that this whole DEI thing that's permeated its way into how government is effectively run is not just at the federal level. You're going to see more of this in the local level, particularly in these red states, the copying effect. But Elon Musk and DOGE, and the reason I start with the state is because you have this state, and they're going to emulate this to the point that they're going to put probably someone with money who has no ties to government in charge of that organization in South Carolina, the way that we have done here in America at the federal level. Elon Musk, let me remind you, we're not even sure if he's a citizen or a naturalized citizen, but he is not. He's not born in the US
illegally.
Right. And not only that, but he also has, let's remind you, he's in charge of government efficiency, but has several $1 billion of government contracts, totaling $20 billion. $3 billion of that is with the Department of Defense, which just yesterday they got rid of the contract that they just signed the day before to buy $400 million worth of Teslas. Okay, talk about waste. To me, that's waste when they didn't need it. But here's the thing that's scary. They are taking over government agencies. So the first one they went to was the Department of Treasury. And if you're not aware of it, they got access. Thankfully, a judge put a restraining order on that information from him, but they already had access to it before the judge got involved. So they had
Already
access to
taken
everybody's social security information, any information that you give to Treasury, which would be through the IRS. Okay. So even they know how much you make, how much you've made, they know bank account numbers, all of that. What I found out yesterday, and this was something that didn't get largely reported and it should have, was that one of his little 20-year-old jerk offs, member of the Virgin crew, he had access. The only person in this country at 25 had access to information in the Treasury that he could change.
And if you think he didn't,
They're
you're
saying that he
sleeping
didn't
under
know.
a rock.
They're saying that he didn't know he did. But I'm sorry,
Oh,
this
yes,
is a guy that hacks for a living. I'm sure he knew. Not only that, it was the one who resigned because of the racist stuff. That's the
Oh,
one.
yeah. Isn't that the one they call Big Balls? He
Yep,
calls himself Big Balls.
That's the one. So keep in mind that. And then DOGE went and tried to do the same thing with the Department of Education. The Department of Education wasn't having it. But he's going agency to agency and shutting these things down. And the scary thing about this, and they keep saying it, they keep saying the quiet part out loud, and certain people in this administration keep letting it go. If there's anything, I'll tell you this, if there's anything that we can learn from the last time that we'll remember, this is the leakiest administration in our lifetimes. Remember, anything that they learn, any information, we have a bunch of people who run to the TV to tell people everything that they know. So here's something that really should scare everyone, not just them going through the Department of Education and all of this. They keep saying that they're looking at things. We're looking at things. We're looking at things like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Wait a second. No, you said in the campaign you're not going to touch those. We know it. We know it's a lie. But the fact of the matter is that during your confirmation hearings, when you're asked these questions, they're being asked these questions, and these people have no caveats when it comes to lying. And we don't. And here's the thing: DOGE also has its own committee. I'm so glad that Jasmine Crockett is sitting on that committee. Marjorie Taylor Greene is the chair of the committee, and I'm glad that Jasmine Crockett called her out this week about talking about having decorum when she has none. But we're not even clear what DOGE's exact role is, what their makeup is, how are they able to do this? Because remember, doing this work also takes money. Any government agency, it's almost like Congress hasn't appropriated money for DOGE. So it's almost like they have a blank check to do whatever. They do have a blank check. And then they're doing things like Elon Musk told us in that presser the other day, basically that he lied about the $15 million that they said went to condoms in Gaza. Yeah, he said, yeah, we'll get it wrong. It wasn't accurate. We'll get it wrong. No, don't lie about finding things. And it's like, they're like, we're finding billions and billions and billions of dollars. Excuse me. Until you give us specifics, you're not finding shit. You're making it up.
For 1 second. I'm so sorry.
No,
but
you go ahead.
Right,
you go ahead.
We know exactly what they're doing. What they're doing is going in and erasing everything that has to do with Musk or any type of corruption or anything that they have actually done on the side that we all know that they have done. That is what they're going after first, because we all know what Musk did. And I'm not biting my tongue. I'm not saying allegedly. I'm not saying it because I don't trust none of these motherfuckers. And I will never tell you a lie. I know that if you corrupt, what you've done, and you've already told us because you're stupid enough to tell us, is you went in and you talked to Putin and you pulled Starlink from Ukraine.
Yep.
Now, everyone who has asked you about that or has called you to task about that has been fired, and you went after those files first. Now, you have all of our shit, and there's top officials who have had like military clearance who have come on and said there are 3 levels of clearance. And Musk has violated the top of the top of the top, meaning that foreign officials, if they get their hands on this information, which they're just throwing all this stuff all at it, this is no different than when Trump took all that stuff down to Margo, Key Largo, Margalago, whatever you took it to, and just threw it at people saying, look at this. This is security. Oh, look, I got this in my hand. Okay. Now you have all these people who know what we're doing and how many people we have assigned to this, and we are at risk as a nation. You mark my words today on this show. I don't know how long it's going to be, but an attack is going to come on our soil, and it's going to be Musk and Trump and these kids who know nothing's fault. And don't you dare come at me talking about we're woke. You came in here and you created this mess. We are in danger while they're trying to cover their ass and put all the money in their pockets so that when they do get caught, they can run off to this little imaginary island that they have or their little bunkers, and they can do whatever they want to. You mark my words.
And Lala, you're right about that in terms of our security, because we already got Pete Hegseth telling plans without having had conversations with anybody, talking about, oh yeah, well, Ukraine's not going to get back its land. They're just going to have to give it up. And then this and this, and we got this deal. We've got this deal going. We've got this deal going here. And I mean, the more egregious these things get, the scarier I think it is for us as Americans, because the more openly brazen and corrupt they are, the less information we're going to get. And I say that because yesterday it's announced the AP is banned from White House pressers indefinitely because they called it the Gulf of Mexico. No one else in the world,
and how childish this is.
No one else in the world is calling it Gulf of Mexico.
Shot hanging on the wall.
I saw.
Of the office.
All right, I'm gonna get to some comments. You ladies need a bit of a timeout. I did see the mugshot on the wall. I think I shared that with you guys. Did I? The clip. Yeah,
I saw it. You probably did, but I actually don't.
I saw it on the news yesterday. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Dr. Tachi says, "Thank God for the judge," but I think it's too late. And then Regina says, "How are the DOGE kids qualified? They are not accountants. They are not auditors. They are coders." Dr. Tachi says, "That's rubbish. They hired hackers, so of course he knew. But lying is in these particular individuals' DNA. So," and then Regina says, "And good to have you here, Regina, as always. Elon is so transparent, he refuses to release his tax returns. By the way, town hall meeting this past Thursday with our congressman in DC. 5-minute text notice, 22,000 constituents showed up. Whoa. All right.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Dr. Tachi says, exactly. So where is this money for the so-called, quote, DOGE, unquote, coming from? Regina also says, not just the Dems. MAGA voters who are very unhappy with the cuts and lack of accountability.
Yeah.
Dr. Tachi says, Regina says, hey, we're there. That's incredible. Regina says, it blew my mind. Our local VA military hospital had 20 beds cut for funding. Oh boy. The MAGA vets were upset and said the whole Gaza plan was unacceptable to them. Aisha says, Elon, I don't know.
I can't spell. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Elon also cannot qualify for the security clearances required for looking into these agencies. There's a certain level of security clearance you have to have because there's very sensitive information with regard to our national security. He can't pass it.
All right. Some other comments, and they are flying like crazy. Regina says, getting rid of the CIA and FBI. China is salivating.
And here's the part that I don't understand. Why are you going to get rid of the FBI if you're trying to put Cash Patel in charge of it? Why are you trying to get rid of the Department of Education, but you put Linda McMahon there? Oh, and let me just say, by the way, I have to sidestep this. There was a confirmation hearing for Linda McMahon. I think it was yesterday. Linda McMahon's trying to be over Department of Education. Linda McMahon ran for U.S. Senate in Connecticut, where I live, 3 times. She lost all 3. And it was so nice yesterday to see Chris Murphy it was Thursday, Chris Murphy asking her questions, because Black history is a course that is available in public schools here in Connecticut, right? And Chris Murphy asked her specifically about that and cutting those classes and defunding any K-12 education that does offer those classes. And she's like, well, I have to look into those classes and the requirements and what goes in. What? I'm sorry, but that was my whole thing, because this woman doesn't even have a degree in education. She has no skills in education. This is the WWE lady, okay? This woman says that she thought she had a degree in education because she was a substitute teacher in Connecticut in the 70s and 80s. Let me tell you something about substituting in Connecticut, because I did it in the 90s when I was a senior in college, okay? First of all, back then, now you are required to have a degree of some sort. And in most cases, they want you to be certified. But back then, all you had to do was have a diploma, high school diploma, to be a substitute. And it's not like it was a regular job. They would call you every now and then and say, hey, I've got this school opened up here. You didn't teach lessons. You went, you got a lesson plan from the teacher, and you handed out the worksheets, and you sat there and you babysat the kids while the teachers did it, unless you got a long-term substitute thing, which is what I did. So I was actually literally teaching 2nd grade for half a year. But her, mm-mm.
So Regina says, now MAGA vets have Dr. Tati said to Regina,
well, so do MAGA farmers.
it says MAGA vets have a problem. Too bad, so sad. Oh well, they are now in the FAFO stage.
Yep, and so do those farmers, because guess what? Those MAGA farmers, one of them yesterday went on a rampage because he found that one of the things that Elon cut, his farm lost $300,000. It was going to lose $300,000 in government funding, and he's going to lose his farm.
Yeah.
Oh,
And also too, I think this goes back to what we've been saying, particularly about the school, even with the schools. And remember this thing with these farmers, them cutting SNAP and all that stuff, particularly with them cutting SNAP. I don't think people in our country realize how certain things work. A lot of these benefits and things that people get, a lot of these social safety nets that people get are also connected to money and things that other people get to live.
can I ask then, a lot of these people who are upset, they think that only people that look like us get benefits from the
Yes.
government?
But that goes
Yeah.
back to what I was just saying, that they don't understand. So for example, like people that have SNAP benefits. I know in Connecticut, well, I don't know how other states fix theirs, but I know in Connecticut, they will offer, people can use them at farmers markets, which help our local farmers and put money in. They can sell their goods to people, and they can accept the SNAP benefits, and people can do that. So there's that with the like I just said, with the school lunch program through the USDA, farmers produce a certain amount of foods that go to our public schools. And so these things are all interconnected. And so you might sit there and be like, good, I hope they cut the SNAP benefits, until you realize that you're the farmer the kids who get SNAP, whose parents get SNAP, and they get free and reduced lunch, and you provide X number bushels of grain and sugar and all this other stuff to to the USDA for schools, so the schools can make these lunches for these kids that get free and reduced lunch because their parents get SNAP benefits.
All right, I want to get to two more comments here. Regina says they are in major FAFO stage along with local dairy farmers who are MAGA. Regina also says Little X told 47 he wasn't the president. Wonder where he heard that. Convinced that Harris won now. So, Lala, want to come back to you, and this has been a theme, especially last year. How little the average American understands about government.
They don't. They
don't.
really and truly don't. Unfortunately, people like to take whispers on the wind. That's what I call it. You whisper on the wind. Someone says something and then someone repeats that. It's like that game we used to play when we were kids. You know how you stood in a line and someone whispered in, and then by the time you get to the end, telephone. It's exactly like that. And they are so lazy. And a lot of us, this is no joke. This is not a dig. This is really honest. A lot of people don't even know how to read anymore. They barely know how to write anymore. They can't even read the real Bill of Rights and Constitution because they weren't required to learn to read cursive. So you have all of these things going on. They don't want to bother to see what the truth is. They didn't even look at junction, which would explain half of our government to us. And we have a bunch of people who do not understand the way our government works. And when that shit hits the fan and it comes back to their house, that's when they cry. Now, what was very interesting to me, Aisha, you mentioned SNAP. Mm-hmm. So there was a food bank. There was a sheriff's department. I can't remember what state it was. I do believe it was someplace like Alabama, who had to come on and announce on the official sheriff's page, I am sorry, we have to inform you that the food bank is no longer open because of this administration. And this is a red state and this is a red area. Because of the administration's new rules, we don't have the funds to provide you food anymore. See, this now is hitting them. Those who think that it was always us, but they're just as dependent on the government, if not a little more than we are. What they like to do is just put the face of this need to be brown people, when in actuality, it's mostly them.
Well, there are more white women with children on SNAP than there are black women. It's like the face of the welfare queen. It's like, and let's be perfectly honest, when it came to that, a lot of that stems from Ronald Reagan.
Yes, it does.
Remember Ronald Reagan ran on the welfare queen.
Yes.
So Dr. Chachi says it was always the plan to remove civics curricula from schools. This way you have a populace that is uneducated about the way government works and can be fed any number of lies. But got to hand it to 47. He worked his magic on this. He knew what
he knows who to tap into. But
I don't even think it was him though. But let's be very clear. I don't think so much. I refuse to give him credit for this. You know who I give the credit to? I give the credit to Elon Musk, because Elon Musk knew what he wanted. He wanted to be in charge of. Elon Musk knew he could never become president. He knew he could never run for any kind of office. You know why? Because the one thing that he is self-aware. He knows people don't like him. So he doesn't have the popularity to win a race like that. So what does he do? He buys himself a government position. He buys himself a president by proxy, a presidency by proxy, right? And so and how does he do this? He fixes the election. And I'm sorry, at this point, I've been saying it, it doesn't seem right that Donald Trump won all 7 swing states. And now I'm convinced that he didn't, especially after Trump goes out there and says Elon Musk did the thing with the voting machines and the Starlink and all that stuff, and it was rigged, and it was rigged, it was rigged. And so I'm like, oh, so that's what he did. I think that, because here's the thing, Donald Trump didn't come up with DOGE on his own. That was Elon Musk insinuating that. And let's be very clear, Donald Trump and all these rich people that he's putting in office, they are treating your tax dollars, they're treating this country's coffers like it is their own bank account. They want to play the stock market with your tax dollars. The money that you went out and earned, you can't spend yourself, but they want to spend it to play in the stock market, and it's disgusting.
But getting back to what Trump has always said from the very, very beginning, and here's what upsets me so is he has always been very honest and open, cocky, always been that way, told you exactly who he was, and you could either fall in love with him or you can't stand the man. I struggle right now and have to get on my knees every night for how I feel about that man. Okay, so but many, many years ago, they asked him, if you were to get into politics, what would you do? He said, well, I would definitely run as a Republican because they believe anything that you tell them. And he's never deviated from that. He knew that. He knew that from the very beginning. And this is exactly what he stepped into his power with, running on that knowledge that he knows that this base is the one that's going to allow him to do everything that he wants to do, because he knows how to speak to them, because they want to be him in the fact that they see themselves becoming billionaires one day when all they're doing is robbing absolutely everything that they have.
Yeah.
Dr. Pachi says also we've been through rough patches.
Yeah.
So this is almost a normal day for some Black people. We always come out swinging. It's other people who have to worry. Also, she says, there was definitely some election debauchery. Regina says, when the red states are hungry and homeless, we will remind them of the MAGA mandate. Also,
well, here's the other part of it, though. What Regina said, when the red states are hungry and homeless, and guess what? The sad part about it, if it means that they deported the Mexicans and the Blacks don't get health care, they're okay with that.
They are totally okay with that. Listen, another post that I saw this week that was in my hometown, and it bothers me to the core. Yes, Kentucky is a red state, but Louisville is really, it's blue. So there's a franchise there of pizza called Spazzelli's or whatever. We used to go to it all the time. There's 3. And there was one gentleman who owns one of them who came on and actually said, just so you libtards know, you can say to us, you wait till you get your own. You're going to get exactly what you want. He said, this is exactly what we want. We want this. We wanted DEI gone. We wanted this. We wanted DOGE. We wanted all of that. So you telling us that doesn't mean shit, because this is exactly what we wanted. And see, that's what I want people to understand. You're never going to change the die-hard people. Now, the ones that are die-hard are always going to drink that Kool-Aid as long as it's being delivered to them. Doesn't matter even if it hurts their own households or their businesses. They will move on. Because you know why? The franchise immediately came in and said, no, you cannot use our name. You got to go. And sure enough, okay, fine, I'm just going to open under another name. Well, now you have all these Trumpsters like, I'm going to support that one. Let's go to that one. Fuck the other ones. We're going to go to the one that likes Trump. So this is exactly what you're going to see. We can say that all day long, people. I want you to understand that. They don't care.
They don't. They don't. And you know what's even funnier? It's like, it's not even that they just don't care. You realize that these people, nothing's going to make them happy. Nothing's going to be. These are literally people who really just like to complain. They want to complain for the sake of complaining. Look, how do we know this? Because these people wanted DEI gone, and then we're mad that there were no white people in Kendrick Lamar's halftime show.
Fired up.
Excuse me, DEI would have been letting, like someone said, letting the non-seasoned dancers be part of the show. That's DEI, according to them, because they believe DEI is not merit-based. Like someone said, they let the best dancers.
Oh, gosh. So Jen Meyer says, LaLa, I remember when he said that.
Mhm.
And then also Dr. Tachi says, because the Republicans have a large base that is uneducated and doesn't want the knowledge, these are the easiest people to manipulate.
Yes.
She also says, and to be honest, the red states have been receiving welfare all along
Yep.
from the blue states that carry the weight of the South.
Yep.
Regina also says, you may not be old enough to remember this, but I do. The GOP totally backed Nixon and believed his lies until the truth revealed by the Pentagon Papers and Watergate hearings were revealed.
And the
then
sad part is that they would even now, if someone were to reveal all the really bad dirt. Okay, first of all, we know everything that the FBI, DOJ, everything that they have about Trump is going to be gone. But if somebody were, if they had actually just leaked that stuff, I promise you, these people wouldn't even care. They wouldn't know. They wouldn't care.
Dr. Tachi says, and this is why I do not waste time trying to educate the uneducatable. As I climb to the summit, these folks just need to stay at the base of the mountain. Nothing more. Oh boy. Oh,
You know what? You
okay.
know what's so funny? It's funny because the very people who are holding the country back don't realize it's them.
Well, so then
Don't
what
realize
is
they're the ones holding the country back.
so then what do we foresee of DOGE continuing its purging and gurging?
They're going to rob us blind.
Yep.
Dr. Vibe, they're going to rob us blind, and they are going to put our country at serious risk. Not going to, they have. When you have other countries such as Germany who have been through this, and their regular citizens are seeing what's going on and literally are begging Americans to stop. We've seen this. We've been through it. You don't want this.
Yeah.
When you have, and they're so sincere when they say that. When they see some of these videos, they are almost in tears.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't do that. Well, we're already at this risk. We've already passed it. There is no putting things back in the box. Now we just all have to ride this roller coaster screaming. And because of some idiots who decided that they wanted to drink the Kool-Aid, we all now must suffer in some sort of way, even though we can pull ourselves up. We can pull ourselves up as our community if we choose to. And we can, because you're always going to have people that are going to be resilient enough to support our communities. But it doesn't mean that it's not going to be raining hell on us, because it is. And this is not something that's just a term. This is not something that is 2 terms. This is not something that is even 10, 20 years. We will be trying to fix when we ever get out of this hole, if we do in my lifetime, because I don't believe it, because Trump already told us what he's going to do. It's going to be upon the next few generations to get us back, just like Germany had to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we're in a really, really bad way.
Okay. Well, let's move on to our next. Oh, we got another comment here before we go. Dr. Tachi says other countries are quick to put economic sanctions on other countries. They need to band together and impose economic sanctions on the U.S. The only thing they understand is money. All right,
Yeah.
we'll talk about that.
Dr. Tachi's right. Dr. Tachi's right. I think we're getting close to that point.
Yeah.
So we and actually before we went live today, I asked if the ladies wanted to talk about the tariffs. We're going to hold off until March 1st because that's when the things are allegedly going to start rolling. So Dr. Tachi, we have not forgot about it. We will get to it to see what happens because of it. But I will say the president of Mexico, she knows how to handle 47.
Baby, I love her.
Okay,
Me
will
too.
get on next conversation piece. Why federal courts are unlikely to save democracy from 47 and Musk attacks.
Well, our American courts are not set up for speed. And we are already seeing that. Now, I can attest to that for what's going on in Mississippi. It's been over 2 years now since my sisters were killed by a drunk driver. And the system is set up to push off and push off and push off. The courts are way overloaded. They can't move as fast as they should be moving. Justice is not swift. And so, as we are seeing in the lower courts, the upper courts as well cannot move as fast because we're not set up that way. So as we've said before, and if you go back and watch some of our, I think even just last week, when you are getting hit with 25 things in a day, and you're just now being able to get a judge to come out and say, oh, you can't do that. Well, that's still 24 things that we are still fighting down the road. So we are not going to be able to win this when it comes to federal courts or any kind of justice in that way. I don't know what we do. I really don't. But this is not going to be able to save us, because you can have 50,000 lawsuits on, but they're already on the 1,000th thing as we're trying to tackle just 3.
Yeah. I totally agree with Lala on that. And I mean, honestly, I don't have anything else to add except to say that they're going to do what they can, but a lot of the damage is coming via executive order every day. And put this way, it's been 3 weeks. There have been way over 100 executive orders that have been signed, and they're still on the first one, the courts.
But also,
I lost count. I lost count. I don't even, what are we up to now?
I don't know how many, but I know this. Because the news media is very selective about what they cover, and they might pick 1 or 2. I go and I look and see how many are that day. And there's way more than the news media is letting us know. But Donald Trump is so arrogant that he loves putting them on the site. So I advise anyone every day, you need to go look and see which of your rights he took away that day, because the news media is not reporting it all.
But is this not just the long game that 47 played in the first place? Because he has so many Republican judges now.
No, I don't think this is the long game. And the reason I say this, I don't think this is the long game that he planned in the first place, is because he is going on pure, he's focusing on pure retribution anger. This man is writing these executive orders and going in such a way that it's clear that the only thing that he sees is red. He's signing them like, when you get so angry and you're so pissed and all you can see is red, the only thing you can think about is that thing that you're angry about. That's him. And the more that people say, well, what about the courts? He's like, I don't care what the courts say. This is, I think that's the lesson for us more than anything. He said already, he's not going to do what the court said. He already told us that.
And with the powers that the Supreme Court has given him.
Yeah, and this man, but this man is seeing red. So just know that with everything, every time he sits and he signs executive orders, he feels like he is getting back at the people who went against him. And then this week, I think more than just the courts on the other things that he's doing, we really need to pay attention to the courts in terms of what he did with Eric Adams. Not only did Elon Musk buy him, Elon Musk bought himself a presidency by proxy. Donald Trump bought a mayor.
Mm-hmm.
And think about it. Anyone who's a power player, who's in, all the people that he admires, like the mob bosses and things that he admires, always seem to control the mayor of New York, and now he does. And it took him how long? A year and a half, almost 2 years before he did his first quid pro quo. It took him less than 3 weeks.
So then, just adding on. Tagging this along, how do you see the credibility of the United States with the way with its present leadership?
I hope all our allies leave us.
We have none. And in fact, what you're not seeing in America. This is why I urge you with all of my heart, please do not just listen to CNN, MSNBC, all those places like that. Really go on a deep dive on who is reporting real things. And that is meaning they're sending you emails on what the truth of the news is. There's podcasts who are free to report things that are true and not having the hammer over top of them, such as the AP being banned just because of the Gulf of Mexico. Yes, it's the Gulf of Mexico.
Right.
You know, you can call it the Gulf of Looney Tunes for all I care. It's the Gulf of Mexico.
We don't own it. What makes you think it's a body of water? We don't own it. What makes you think you can change the name of it? And I'm also done with Google too.
Seeing that. This is exactly falling right into what I'm saying. And Aisha, you are just right on point. When you look at the American Google map, it says Gulf of America. The rest of the world, which is why I'm telling you to open your mind to looking at other news sources that are credible, it still says the Gulf of Mexico. And that's what they're going to do. They're still going to keep that. The world sees this as a madman. And many of our allies are standing up and speaking out, but you're not going to see that on the news. When Vance spoke this week, I forgot where he spoke. I forgot where he spoke, but it was
at a security conference, I think.
Yeah.
They got up and they pretty much laughed at him and said, you can't ask for things that you don't even know how to negotiate with. You can't demand things without any kind of negotiation. The allies are truly standing up, but you're not going to hear that. Another thing that you're not going to hear is how Canada is taking it extremely serious and a true threat that this man is talking about taking over their country and incorporating it into America. You guys are taking up arms. Y'all not playing with us.
Yeah.
Y'all not playing with us.
I can, as living in Canada, it's probably one of the best things that's happened to Canadian unity in a long time. And no Canadians want any part of the. And I will tell you here that a lot less people are booking trips to the United States.
Yes.
A lot of people, they say they don't want, they've taken this. One guy said, this is like getting stabbed in the back by your brother.
It is.
You know what though?
So you're not going to hear that on our news.
Here's the thing. And it is the arrogance. I've been working on this article and trying to figure out how to actually present it because I'm working on it. But the article is about these different Americanisms that we have, right? And the arrogance that comes along with them. The fact that J.D. Vance thought that he could go wherever he was going to go, with that degree of arrogance on a world stage, and get the kind of reception and expect to get the kind of reception he does from MAGA is insane to me, because it shows these people don't look at anything other than Fox, because if they did, they would know the rest of the world does not think that we're this great. Just because you see the neo-Nazis in Germany be excited about what's going on, and Viktor Orban and all these people in Hungary, doesn't mean the rest of the world thinks that we're great. The rest of the world wants nothing to do with us. We are the kids that came to school with funky underarms. That's who we are. And they are avoiding us like the plague.
All right, some comments here. Dr. Tachi, Tang is so busy signing executive orders. What is he actually doing? He wakes up in the morning, eats McDonald's fries, and just gets to go to work singing. That's not work. Signing. I wouldn't want him to sing. Regina goes, and he sat like a giant toad at his desk looking miserable while Elon blathered and lied. He is clearly not in charge. Regina says, I hope that someone challenges the immunity decision. Let's see if SCOTUS tweaks it. What happens with Adams is 100% illegal. Adams' approval rating is now 10%.
Before you read the next one, I just want to say one thing to New York City. You could have had Maya Wiley.
Okay. Food Plane says, hey, Dr. Vibe, DS here. Good to have you here. Food Plane also says hello to Dr. Tachi. Dr. Tachi says, not a toad. She has a smile. And Regina goes, a horned toad. And Dr. Tachi says, hello to Food Plane. Hey, friend, happy Saturday. And she says also, we're the kids who came to school with lice. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Well, see, look, well, I went to some mixed schools, but predominantly minority town. It would have been the kid with the funky underarm.
All right. And Dr.
Because lice wouldn't have bothered me.
She says, Dr. J says, Adams is a disgrace.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Every time I'm gonna put this visual in you guys' mind, and you're gonna be mad at me for doing so. So please forgive me, but you're never gonna unsee it once you see it. Remember Martin, when Tracy Morgan played Hustle Man?
Mm-hmm.
That's Eric Adams.
It sure is.
Eric Adams, he talks like that. He makes those gestures, those mannerisms. Every time he comes on TV, I call him Hustle Man. Because he's also always trying to hustle somebody.
and who's in agreement? Dr. Tachi says, yes. Okay, she goes, Eric Adams equals Hustle Man. Okay, all right.
And he talks like that too.
Oh, jeez.
No, you guys remember the episode when Martin was supposed to do the remember when he was supposed to do the talent show and Hustle Man comes with the kazoo on the saxophone? And Hustle Man comes with the kazoo on the saxophone and he does pick up the pieces.
We're never going to be able to unsee it now.
He has the kazoo.
If I had a white flag right now. Okay, let's see. One more. And Regina says Adams can't retract the sanctuary city status either.
Well, I'm glad that Kathy Hochul is trying to figure out how she can get rid of him. And yesterday, my girl, Tish James, they asked her what she thought about it outside of her office. And she said, we're having conversations and we're looking into seeing what we can do about the situation in New York. And the face that she made was like, she was done with him. The look on her face.
The face said it all.
She was so disgusted with him. It's not funny.
Okay.
He's going to, let me tell you something. He's going to jail.
You think so, Aisha?
I think that no. Honestly, because here's the thing. Trump might have been able to take care of himself, and he might have been able to even take care of himself with state issues. He can't take care of Eric Adams on state issues. He can. That's the one thing that he cannot do. Okay. He might have been able to handle himself, but he's not going to be able to get Eric Adams off on state issues. I promise you that part, because some of the stuff that he violated New York state law on a lot of things, but the thing is that with Trump, the felonies that he committed and that he was charged with were of the election sort. Eric Adams were very different. And not only that, but everyone around Eric Adams will probably be prosecuted first. That is how she'll get him. They'll roll over. Like the girlfriend. The girlfriend that had to resign the job, because you guys don't get the local news. We get their local news here. The girlfriend, he had given his girlfriend a job, a 6-figure salary job, and she wasn't doing anything. She wasn't showing up to the office, and she had the job for almost a year before she resigned because she got caught not working. So look,
right.
if you don't go to jail, he's going to owe a whole lot of money.
So the food plane says small pizza box, chuckle. And Dr. Tachi says also when Martin went into business selling T-shirts with Hustle Man, and they said Whitney Houston instead of Whitney Houston instead of Whitney Houston. That is Adams for sure. Oh, geez. And Food Plane
But
says,
wait. He was on Fox yesterday. He couldn't even say quid pro quo, right?
oh boy.
He
All
said,
right.
that's a quad pro quo.
The Food Plane says, or the chicken at the branch marinated in pork and beans. Look, Lala remembers that. She seems to have remembered that. Okay. Food Plane says, Martin, one of the best shows ever, a classic. Food Plane said, Dr. Tach says, Food Plane laughs at this. Yes, he also says, I had the pleasure of meeting Martin. Very nice experience.
Oh, cool.
Regina says that he's going to the bottom of East River. He's talking about Mr. Adams. We'll see.
And see, and that's the other reason why I think that Trump can't buy him out of any kind of punishment, because if he was corrupt enough to do this blatantly with the federal government stuff, he's doing it with other people's money and contracts, and the bosses in New York don't like that kind of stuff.
All right, and then we've got some more comments. Dr. Chat says, how cool meeting Martin. And then Dr. Tachi goes, Regina fears, oh Lord. And then Regina says, Dr. Tachi, my fantasy, Michael Corleone at the end of Godfather 2 after his father passed. Okay, let's move on. All right. No kidding. Talking about the egg prices that now have more than doubled under 47, but were supposed to be the reason why people voted for him.
Well, I'm hearing MAGA people saying they don't care about the cost of eggs. They're fine with their cost of eggs going up as long as he got rid of DEI. Okay, but let's be very clear, white ladies. The primary beneficiaries of DEI, while you're concerned about him rolling back DEI, there's something else too on the chopping block, and there are certain tenants in the what is the act that the Violence Against Women Act. So you can be happy with him taking away my rights, but guess what? He's also going to be taking away your rights from getting your ass beat by your husband.
Which is going to come because they are rolling back all of that.
And your husband and the abuse. Yep, and the abuse is going to get bad because your husband's going to be mad that you had to pay $15 for eggs of the money that he earned because he wants you at home making babies.
And you won't have the opportunity to vote if they pass the SAFE Act.
And guess what? The cost of eggs is not only going up, also with tariffs, you're not going to be able to get that Italian wine you like so cheap anymore.
But I used to remind them about Easter.
But but Easter. Let me remind you about Easter. What was it that I said about Easter?
Them Easter eggs is not going to be what you thought it was. I said you're going to have to bring out the paper mache.
Look, I'm going to have to read. Look, I'm going to have to read to you exactly what I said because I can't remember. But I said, in response to someone about the eggs on Blue Sky, I said, yeah, it's bad. I don't eat eggs like that, but I can't wait for Easter and the FAFO when MAGA moms can't rainbow color eggs for the very straight Easter egg hunt as white Jesus would want them to have according to their Trump Bibles, because 12 eggs are $20 and they need a good Christian 144,000.
I can't add no more to that.
Look at the voice. You can't add no more than that. So the news got worse for the Republicans this past Wednesday. That annual inflation spiked to 3%. Egg rationing begins.
Yes.
So look, like I said, and guess what? They start with their Easter. Look, put it this way. Valentine's Day was yesterday, and I went to the pharmacy real quick, and they already started putting the Easter stuff out. So, next couple of weeks, Aunt Peg and Meemaw gonna be really upset because they can't give them kids a proper Easter egg hunt.
Well, now
because at the Piggly Wiggly, them eggs cost them $10.99.
So Dr. Tachi says, Now, witch, you were complaining about eggs. Stand strong in your
cluckery.
Oh, and Regina goes, cluckery, Dr. Tachi, you are the new Shakespeare. And she then said back to Regina, She has a lot.
We're
From
gonna have to do a Mary J. Blige remix about this cluckery instead of this dancery.
And then Dr. Chachi goes, me nah.
Nah,
No,
Nah,
Mima.
Mima. Mima and Aunt Peg.
Mima. And then, but here's the thing: 47 promised a golden age of prosperity. Instead, it's a golden age of rationing.
But guess what? But guess what? People think that okay. They're like, okay, fine. I'll just pay. So the cost of eggs, I won't have to buy eggs. But you forget how many things eggs are in.
Yes.
Which means the cost of everything is about to skyrocket. So, when you want to go out, Sunday brunch. People love to go for Sunday brunch, or especially in those deep red pockets of the Bible Belt after church. They like to go for breakfast, particularly at the local Shoney's if they can. After they can get to the local Shoney's, they'll have breakfast after church. And at that point, they'll want their omelets, which are going to cost them a good $25.
Dr. Chachi says, I am fine with being voluntary vegan.
And you know what? The other thing, too, is that people forget, like I said, eggs are in so many things. So you think that all your things that you buy in the grocery store the prices are going to go up that have anything that has eggs in it. You think that, look, that package of Oreo cookies that you want is going to go. Exactly. That package of Oreo cookies is about to go skyrocket. They use eggs for so many things. And all you little hipsters, with your little white female hipsters with your little Stanley cups, and you like their little macarons, guess what they use in macarons?
Well, wouldn't it be interesting with the prices going up for eggs? And if tariffs hit, like Canada's threatening to put a tariff on oil and gas of 25%, could you imagine if price eggs go up and the price of gas goes up in America? What will happen?
It's already going up. Our gas went up almost 20 cents in the last week and a half.
But there's been no tariffs.
No, because the gas, listen, that's a whole nother topic. We need to put that on for next week.
Yeah. And the thing of it is whatever reserves that we have, we're going to blow through those by the end of next month.
Okay. Dr. Chachi says, they are the hottest fish grease at the price of eggs at the Waffle House. She also says hot as fish grease at the Waffle House. Then April Watson goes, love Shoney's.
Well, it's funny that you would bring up the Waffle House, Dr. Tachi, because there was a sign that was put on one of my groups that this was a friend of mine, and I can't remember what state it was, but Waffle House has already put a sign in their window saying currently there will be a surcharge for a certain amount of eggs because egg prices have gone up. So it's already started.
Yeah. Oh, and just so you don't, just in case you're not aware, like our stores, there's also a limit on how many cartons of eggs you can buy as well.
Yeah, because what was happening is since people are not shopping at Target anymore and everybody is going to Costco, people were going to Costco and literally coming out of there with 4 and 5 pallets of eggs. And they had to stop.
Hold on. How many?
4 and 5 pallets.
You're joking me.
No. There was one lady in there who came out with 4 pallets filled with eggs. She bought every egg that was on the shelf. And people were calling her out in the line and everything. And she just ignored it. It's like she ignored it. But I think Costco was one of the first now who had to put up the sign and say, no, you can't do this.
4 or 5 pallets of eggs. Come on.
Well, yeah, because
I have a restaurant. And everybody was like, so?
And the thing of it is that people are like, no vaccines, no this, no that. Let's be very clear that this issue with the eggs goes back to what I said at the top of the show with regard to how things are connected back to the CDC and the NIH not being able to report on the bird flu and people not knowing and not having the information that they need. Or it's like the reason that we're having an egg shortage because bird flu is spreading. And you know what else we're going to have a shortage of? We're going to have a shortage of any kind of medication that helps with measles, because there's a measles outbreak in Texas, in the very place where the guy took away disability services, but uses a disability ramp to get. It makes no sense. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna just show.
I'm sorry. That one just makes no sense to me. But yeah,
I gotta see if I can show this in regards to, because Lala, and I believe you the palette thing, because I'm just gonna show.
But remember, it was the same thing during COVID with the toilet paper and the hand sanitizer and stuff. And you have people going and buy. That's how they ended up having to put those signs out, or with the toilet paper, or only certain amount of rolls,
this is
or
a
whatever.
picture from a Costco's. Look at this. So I believe the pallets now, because I'm seeing.
Well, because restaurants need the eggs and they can't find them. There's a shortage.
Wow.
And think about this, if you're a mom and pop restaurant, and you do, like, we have a lot of like mom and pop restaurants that aren't open after lunch. They close at 2 or 3 because they do their big bulk of business at breakfast or lunchtime, because these are places that are down. Mostly you're going to find those places in the downtown areas around the businesses or around state governments or city governments.
Okay. So I'm just going to pull this up. I'm going to this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This is really, I'm going to see if I can pull this up again on screen and show, like, people. Hopefully I can pull it up. People getting into fights over eggs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, they're gonna be fighting like those eggs are Popeye's chicken sandwiches.
Okay, so do you see that picture of we showed that one, right? Okay, here's some other thing. Egg prices are soaring across the country. They're set to climb even further this year.
I sent you guys the thing with the eggs that it was $13.99 for an 18-pack.
So a sign hangs on an empty shelf in natural food store last month in Denver. Due to recent supply shortages, fresh eggs that meet our high quality standards are in limited quantity. We appreciate your patience as we work to get there. Here you go. There's your fight.
Look, I bet you the guy with the hat voted for Trump.
Wow. Like, fight. Yeah, Waffle House has put a 50-cent per egg surcharge in place because of the biggest bird flu outbreak in a decade. There we go. Okay, we're done. Wow.
I do want to give a shout out to the Alts National Park Service. They are being very resistant to this administration. They are calling it out. They are talking about how our national parks and these things are in danger. They're also calling out Musk's bullshit. They these posts that they do are very informative. So if you really do want to find a pretty good source, you want to make sure on Facebook you look at ALT National Park Service, because they actually do have some wonderful posts that you can see what's actually going on. Because they are a government, they're a part of the government, they're able to get some of this information before news, or if news is even going to report on it, out. And I'm really big on you trying to find a good outlet for good news. I did find a couple this week, so next week, hopefully, sorry y'all, next week is my birthday. I will give Aisha or Dr. Vibe. Oh, I'll put it in Discord. So
we'll be here next week.
Discord.
Yeah, because next week.
Discord.
I told you my sister's birthday.
Discord. All right.
Discord, all the sites that I have found to be very reliable, because I think that's where your number one fight back is finding the right news.
Okay, Dr. Tachi says you can't leave Americans sow their own devices. If there's a shortage, they will think about themselves and forget everyone else. That was just bloody selfish. And then Jen says, I was at the grocery store today and there were hardly any eggs. Giant Eagle was one of the last to start running out. Wow. Well,
Wow.
what's your president doing? All right, last
Not
one.
mine. He's not mine. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No. He is not my president.
Okay.
He's a president of something.
He ain't mine. President of
All
his
right.
own.
Wait, there is one thing though. That we didn't. The one thing we didn't do was a Black History Month fact.
No, we ain't
Okay.
finished yet.
Oh, good. I was like, I'm
Thank
glad.
you.
I was gonna say, oh my God.
All right, thank you. All right, and we've talked about one party, but you haven't talked a lot about the other party for a while. So what we're going to do is we're going to show a little bit of a clip here that Lala shared with us this week. And I'm going to let's see if we can get it on screen. Oh, this thing is not working properly today. Let's try again. Let's see if we can get it this time, because it's a very interesting clip to just basically show you what is going on with America these days. All right, we got it up. All right, so we're going to play this clip, and then the ladies will chat about the other party.
Of representatives. And my question is, where are my Republican colleagues? There's not a single one of my Republican colleagues here on the House floor. In fact, I am standing on the Republican side of the aisle, and there's not a single one in the chamber right now. While Donald Trump and Elon Musk and their group of teenage hackers are dismantling the federal government, not a single one is to be found here on the House floor this afternoon. So let me say to the American people, this is not normal. What is happening right now in this country is not normal, and Democrats are fighting back. We are fighting to defend the Constitution, the rule of law, the separation of powers, vital funding for our communities, the health and safety of our people, and saving our democracy, because what is happening in this country right now is not normal. Over the last 3 weeks since Donald Trump took office, federal agencies have been dismantled. Thousands of federal workers have been fired and put on leave and are left in limbo. Millions in federal funds have been frozen for our communities. And your private data has been hacked by a group of teenage software hackers at the Department of Treasury. And Elon Musk and Donald Trump are breaking the law daily inside of these agencies. In fact, not only are they breaking the law, they are violating the Constitution, appropriations law, statutory law. There are 55 court cases pending right now in front of federal courts. Federal stays filed by federal judges to stop Trump and Musk from these illegal activities. And Democrats are here on the House floor fighting. We're fighting in the halls of Congress. We're working with our allies on the outside to fight in the courts. And yes, we are fighting in the streets alongside the American people. So where are the Republicans? Have you so abdicated your constitutional responsibility that you can't hold your own party accountable? Just last week in the Oversight Committee, we asked for Elon Musk to come testify. And when we tried to subpoena him, you went out of your way to stop him from appearing in front of the United States House of Representatives Oversight Committee. If you're so proud of what Donald Trump and Elon Musk are doing inside of these agencies, then why are you trying so hard to shield them from public scrutiny and appearing in the people's house? Because really, what the hell is going on? That is what the American people want to know. Why are you trampling on their fundamental rights? As millions of Americans are terrified right now across this country, and we know that thousands of your constituents are calling your offices as we speak. Seniors and elders from our communities that are afraid that their Social Security checks aren't going to come. housing and homeless organizations that are afraid they're going to have to shut down and not be able to give out vouchers so that people have housing, food banks who are concerned they're not going to have enough funding to get to the end of the month to make sure that families can eat. Hospitals and clinics that are wondering if they're going to have to shut down whole parts of their treatment to the public. Universities whose funds have been frozen, and state, local, and tribal governments who are continuing to get notifications from the administration that their funding is not coming, even though a court has already ordered Donald Trump more than once that they are violating the law. So where are our Republican colleagues? Why are they pretending like there's nothing to see here? Maybe it's because while we're standing here, they are literally meeting behind closed doors, putting together a tax package that has yet to see the light of day, that will literally make permanent the largest tax breaks for billionaires in the history of this country. That's right. That's what they're up to. That is what they're doing. And you know who those tax breaks are going to go to? They're going to go to people like Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and all the billionaires and millionaires who are serving in the cabinet right now and giving unfettered access to Elon Musk and his software engineers to hack your private data. And how are they going to pay for it? They already told us how they're going to pay for it. They're going to steal your Medicaid and your Medicare, and they're going to do it by illegally shutting down grants and funding for these agencies and for all of the countless services and programs that we know they're hacking this data to do. So we know what they're up to. And our Republicans are acting like there's nothing to see here because they're in on it, guys. That's why they're not here on the floor. That's why they're missing. That's why they're letting Elon Musk and his Silicon Valley buddies raid the federal treasury. And so we want you to know, the American people, what is actually going on here. And tomorrow, in the very first hearing of the Oversight Committee's new DOGE subcommittee, Democrats are ready to fight. We are ready to show the American people what is actually happening and how we are fighting back to defend and to serve our people and to reveal what is actually going on, not only in this chamber, but across this town as they try to dismantle our agencies and funding. So I say to the American people, not only are we fighting for you, continue to join us in the fight. We need your voices. We need them loud. We need them clear. Keep calling your Republican representatives. Keep calling us and let them know, not only is this not normal, this is not okay, and we are going to continue to fight for our democracy.
All right. She's been the loudest Democrat I've heard since the changing of government.
I wish there was her, Jasmine Crockett, AOC now has a podcast where she's calling this out. I wish there were more like them. The thing is, there are 215 Democrats in the House. Thank God, like Jahana Hayes is starting to talk more, particularly about this education thing, because she was an educator here in Connecticut. But we need, there's too many of you all for there just to be this handful of people that I can count on one hand.
This is my problem. I love your fire, sister. I love your fire. Love it. You ain't said nothing that was a lie. You said nothing that was a lie. You sat up there and spoke the truth. But where were you when you should have been fighting a long time ago? When all of this, Jesus come together, hold our hands, let's be bipartisan crap that y'all did because you wanted to sing Kumbaya. The Kumbaya has come back to bite you in the ass. Now this fire that you have can be quelled because you are overshadowed. But if you would have stepped into this power and stepped into this fire when you were supposed to step into the fire, we would not be here. I don't need no more kumbayas. I don't need your promises and your fire when you're not going to stand behind it. I don't need only 5 people that I can count on my hand who will stand up with that fire. I don't need my Democratic leaders to stand up there and say, what are we going to do? This is not our government, it's their government. That came out of Hakeem Jeffries' mouth. That came out of his mouth. Why are you there? We elected you to do your job, but you wanted to play pity pat. Maki da da. No, ain't no maki da da. They are playing chess, and you were too dumb to see it.
Yeah.
We only have about 5 people who are standing up. Those of you who are not saying nothing at all, you need to go home, because you need to be fired. You really do need to be fired and washed out. We need more of the fire like Jasmine Crockett and this lady here.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
And beyond just that, if you're not going to be that kind of Democrat, then you need to be the kind of Democrat that shuts up. Because the fact of the matter is, you going on these different news shows saying, well, you know, the reason Kamala Harris lost was because she didn't. No, Kamala Harris lost because, let's be very clear, it is starting to look more and more like there was cheating. Where's your loyalty to your candidate? That's the other thing that pisses me off too. And then let's be very clear. They're also doubling down on who they want to focus on moving forward. And guess what? We ain't it. White men have not voted for Democrats in almost 65 years. Yet they are forever trying to go after them. I heard one this week saying that, well, maybe the thing that we should have taken from our 2024 loss is that we focus too much on identity. Guess what? The reason that you do is because you catch those people that the Republicans don't. You're supposed to speak for the people that the Republicans don't. And guess what? Those are the people whose identities are being erased. Also, the lesson that should be the thing that Democrats should take away from the loss isn't what Harris did wrong so much so as what they did wrong. Because remember, Joe Biden, for however old he is, he really was, it looked like he could have been on the path to winning. It was Democrats for 3 weeks talking about the bad debate performance. Guess what? Republicans could have talked about it, but they would have talked about it over in their space on Fox News. You all were running to every network saying that Joe Biden's old. Joe Biden's old. We need someone new. And you're mad because you didn't get, particularly the white males who are talking about we need to revert away from this politics. You're mad because you didn't get your broker primary where you could put in a white guy. And the truth of the matter is that the people, like for example, we were talking about this on Girlfriend Chat, so you'll hear this, but Nancy Pelosi up here trying to orchestrate things and at the same token stabbing Kamala Harris in the back. Nancy Pelosi has a whole lot of smoke and a whole lot of stuff to say, like she's still speaker, but she didn't once campaign for Harris. Did anybody see her? Because I didn't. So I think the Democrats are losing their base because we're seeing what's happening. We're frustrated. We feel powerless. The thing is, we did what you asked us to do. We did what we were supposed to do. We did the thing that you told us was in our power to control it, which was vote. Now we voted, and granted, we didn't get the numbers that we want, but we put you all there. Your job now is to fight for us. Fight for us. We put you there specifically to fight for us, not to go there and collect a check.
And that's what you're doing. So you're wasted space.
And you're wasting our time.
So does the Democratic Party have to basically reconnect themselves with Middle America?
The Democratic, not Middle America, no. The Democratic Party.
I mean, middle class. The eroding middle class.
No, that's the other part. I'm sorry, but here is the biggest part of Democrats' problem. You spent all your time talking to Middle America and the middle class. Guess who else votes? People on the coast, people in the South, and poor people. You guess what? Those people felt like they weren't talked to at all. Republicans weren't talking to them, and Democrats weren't talking to them. And guess what those people did? They stayed home. They stayed home.
I was going to say they need to connect, period, because they're not connecting with anyone anymore. I don't care if it's the middle class. And we know it's not the poor. You know, they're not connecting with us at all. They are completely out of touch. And I get about, oh my God, 20 texts a day of they want money. I just delete them all and report them as spam. You're not getting another dime from me, because you haven't shown me that you're using any of these funds to do what I am asking you to do. And I am one, but I am also a part of one who are millions who are asking you to do the same thing, and you're incapable of doing it.
And send me another email by that slob John Fetterman and see what happens.
Oh God.
That's the other thing too, is that and then you send me all these emails by Democrats that I don't like. And I'm sorry, Pennsylvania, you put that man back in office, something's wrong. And I think that we should excise you from the Democratic Party and the Union.
So they need a total clean out.
Total clean out.
Yes, first of all, and I'm not trying to be ageist, but I do think that we need to dump all the octogenarians.
On both sides.
On both sides. On both sides. But you know what though? I'm gonna let them deal with that over there. Over here, we need to get rid of the octogenarians, and we also need to decide that we're going to be a progressive Democratic Party, which means you middle of the road people, you blue dogs, either you get on board, or guess what? You go be Republicans. Because at this point, that middle of the road, I'm a center Democrat. There's no such thing anymore. You know what center Democrats are? Republican light.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow. Well, we will see what happens to what goes ahead with this. But that is it for our conversation today, ladies. As always, thank you so much for taking the most valuable thing in your lives to hang out with the family, as always. And as always, we ask them to give their contact information. So first up, they call her the key.
Yes, I am the key. Listen, you can find me at my website, which is www.laurakey.net. I am currently moving everything over from my Bitly account to there, but on my main page, you'll find a lot of free things there, a lot of things to help you get your finances in order. If you need a budget planner, because you know you're going to have to, babies, you're going to have to look at your budgets with the price of eggs and things of that nature. You're really going to have to be looking at your budget to see how you're going to be able to handle your households. So this will help you get on task with that. So you can download that free budget planner. It's 14 pages worth that you can sit down and really work out what you and your family can do to protect yourself during these times. But I do want to take 2 seconds of my time to let you know that on February the 17th, which is Monday, which is President's Day, in every state, 50.1. Go to the website, www.50, spell the word out, 50.1. National Not My President's Day protest. Every state, capital, and every city hall in America, 12 o'clock your time, whatever time zone you're in, there is going to be protests. And they are calling for everyone to participate. If you are not happy with what's going on in our government, to get more information, go to www.5050.1.
Thank you. Next up, Aisha K.
Yeah, you can find me at AK Staggers on Instagram, akstaggers.bsky.social, which actually I gained 1,100 new followers in the last 2 weeks. So
there you go.
Pretty good, yeah. And then my meeting, yeah.
I know you mentioned a few moments ago, do you have a quick Black History Minute, or do we save it for the next broadcast?
We have a quick Black History. I don't have one.
Okay, well, we don't have one, so we'll.
No, I sent a video. the other day. But I think that the thing that we need to probably remember the most is that we are inherently strong as people. We survived the Middle Passage, because remember that like 90% of the people that were kidnapped from various countries in Africa and brought over on the Middle Passage did not survive. The fact that we are here now, being the descendants of those people, we're a lot stronger than anything people can throw at us. So guess what? We'll survive this too. We're just more concerned about those people in our community who will not.
Thank you so much. All right. If you want to get a hold of me, here are all the different places. Website, the drvibeshow.com, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, The Dr. Vibe Show, Instagram, at The Dr. Vibe Show, X/Twitter, at drvibeshow, email address, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com, and I'm on Blue Sky at drvibe.bsky.social. I gotta pick up my game on Blue Sky. So Aisha, you're leaving me in the dust, you and Lala. So I get it. All right. So this is how we end off our conversations. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourselves grace. And also, if you're not making money, make history. But it'd be good if you can do both. And then finally, make it better. God bless. Peace to all. Keep the faith and walk good.